our NFC predictions, starting with me. All right, TJ, I went with the Star. They should win this division. They are talented. I am concerned about the back end of their defense. Yeah. I would be particularly concerned if my name is Brandon Carr when Jerry Jones goes on the Rich Eisen Show and is asked a point-blank question if they're interested in Earl Thomas, and his answer is, well, we just signed Brandon Carr. He fits our pistol for week 1. We will see how things go. You know, we're always looking at our roster, but I have respect for Earl Thomas. I'm concerned about the back end, but if Earl Thomas is sitting at home and he hasn't gone completely off the reservation, he might wear a star, and then we'll see how it works. I like the Vikings. I thought the addition of Ngakoue defensively puts them in a different tier than they were last year. Let's just hope Kirk Cousins is masked up and staying healthy. And I like the Vikings in that division. I'm taking the Bucs to win the NFC South, people. And when you hear, I have flat out talked myself into liking the Bucs a heck of a lot. And between now and Thursday, when I make my last Super Bowl pick decision, having been giving an extra 2 days because Michael Irvin took up all the time and it was remaining in the final segment of the show by bogarting my time to give you my Super Bowl pick, I'm just wondering just how deep the pool is that I'm going to cannonball into about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think they win this division. And I know what I'm talking about. I know when I say that the Saints are really good and it's Drew Brees' last ride and all the stops are going to be pulled for that. And I like the Seahawks in the West. I think it's difficult to repeat as division winners. I think DK Metcalf is going to take a huge step forward. And I think the addition of Greg Olsen is going to give some much needed, if he can stay healthy, consistency. Would you say maybe best tight end Russell Wilson's ever thrown to? And I understand what I'm saying in that department.
I think so. I think Jimmy Graham wasn't the Jimmy Graham we were accustomed to seeing. And there's always been a revolving door of somebody named Wilson with too many L's in it, at that position, it seems like. Yeah.
And defensively, you know how I feel about Bobby Wagner. He's going to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And I think they're doing Pete is excellent at what he's doing. I like the Seahawks, and interestingly enough, you're lockstep with me.
I say I did not look at your picks last night when I was filling mine out. We have the exact same picks, and I think for a lot of the same reasons. What the Vikings did defensively in their additions, and you just don't know. There's question marks surrounding every other team in that division. I just think they're the most consistent. I know that Green Bay won 13 games last year, but there's a reason why Aaron Rodgers is falling into the middle of fantasy drafts right now. There's not a lot of faith in the old number 12. Seattle, I think a lot of it comes down to, can Chris Carson stay healthy and put it together for a full year? If so, he could rush for 1,500 yards pretty easily, and we know what Russell Wilson can do. This might be the year he finally wins an MVP.
Right.
Dak, I know Kyle Brandt, he picked Dak to win MVP today. Tough to argue with that as well. That Cowboys offense is going to be phenomenal. They're going to. I could see them setting some scoring records this year.
I would look at you and say, you know what you're talking about because you lockstep with me, and then I see the photograph of you, and you're someone who knows they're smart and knows what you're talking about.
Okay. And I might be with you in taking the Bucs to the Super Bowl in the NFC.
That guy knows what he's talking about. TJ, do you agree with us as well? Are you lockstep as well?
We're pretty much, except for the North.
Who do you have winning the North?
I think a PO'd Aaron Rodgers is going to be fun to watch this year.
I agree with you.
I think he's got something to prove.
Wow. We're at 1/4 of the 12s right here.
I know.
Okay.
So other than that, we are walking arm in arm.
Well, if Don Bowie, our major domo in the back right now, had a say right here, he would thank us for all overlooking his Saints.
Of course he would. That was a tough division to pick, too, the South.
I just like everything that the Bucs are doing.
I mean, Brady's used to having the target on his back, so I think.
Don is now choosing the photographs now. Okay, that's his response.
I don't have the patience to jack with you today.
That's exactly what he's saying. That's what he's saying.
Don just said it.
Guys, you talked about Tom Brady and his receivers earlier. I've got a pretty interesting stat I can wait till later to share.
I think that's called a tease. We have a minute left in this segment.
It's pretty amazing about Tom Brady and what the work that this guy's done.
Okay. So many times Tom was asked to do more with less. So many times his receivers needed name tags for all of us fantasy football players at home. How many times did he win championships with guys who he had to help ascend? Now he's got these guys. I understand that they're new to each other and everything. It's a pandemic year. It's totally going to be topsy-turvy. But I'm buying in. It's certainly NFC South champs. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.